Okay, quick story that has me literally shaking right now. So for context, I drive trucks and I stop at this Denny's to grab a coffee because I'm addicted to caffeine. I went in there to get my coffee to go and then I walked to the bathroom, but as I'm walking to the bathroom, it's this old guy sitting to the left with about 12 people that's celebrating his 89th birthday. I got a call from my dispatcher and he was like, yo, you can chill, no rush, they're not ready for the freight, so you can relax a little bit. Sat down, ordered some food, so now I'm sitting like across from the guy that's celebrating his birthday. Time goes by, I'm down there at the end of my meal and everybody that basically came to celebrate with him had left, so now it's just him and his wife. So as I get up to go wash my hands, I see him and I give him a smile. I'm like, happy birthday, young man, 89. That's a lot of memory to have. Here's the thing, I don't even know why I said that. He could have had Alzheimer's. I'm not even sure what I meant by that. But that's what I said, and he said, well, thank you, young man. And he smiled and he kind of just stared at me, and I just walked back there and washed my fucking hands. So I come back and his wife is gone. She's talking to some other lady that goes to the same church they do, and he sees me, he says, come here, come here, come here. And I said, yes. And he said, there are way too many things that I wish I could forget. And I said, yeah, man, you make it to damn near 100 years old. I'm pretty sure you got a handful of regrets. And he looked at me with the most serious look ever and said, you have no idea. Well, now I'm curious. Do tell. He said, you know, I used to be a firefighter through the 60s and 70s. I said, that's what's up. That's a very commendable job. And he said, yeah, it should be. He said the 60s and 70s was a different time in every way possible. You know that, right? And I'm just like, yeah, no shit. He said, back in those times, I was a way different man, and who knew that we'd get to the point where we are in society today, and I'd be feeling the way I'm feeling about the decisions that I made back in those times. So I'm like, man, if you won't fucking tell me, bro. So right before he took a very long pause, he looked at me and said, back in those times, it was very common for firefighters that looked like me to leave people that looked like you in burning houses and buildings and horrible situations just to say they couldn't get to us. He said more times than he'd like to admit, he would hear screaming black people and children in burning buildings and houses and apartments and stores and cars, and he would literally just pretend he didn't hear it. He said his last time doing it was when he made eye contact with the baby that he deliberately went into a building to save and deliberately didn't. And he said that was the last time he did it, and he quit that year. He said the nightmare still hasn't stopped. He still hasn't forgiven himself, and therapy helps, but it's still a living nightmare to have those memories. And I guess that shit just shocked me so much because when it came to firefighters, I never thought of them like that. Like when it came to like police officers, lawyers, and judges, and everybody else, we knew they didn't give a fuck, especially police officers. We knew they didn't give a fuck about us. But I don't know why that didn't click to me that, no, it was everybody that hated us. Everybody. Everybody had a hand in deliberately making our lives worse. When I calmed down from being mad enough to want to pull the plug on his ass, I thought about it. And I was like, of course they did this. Of course they did this shit. Duh. Like, why was I even shocked? Like, of course. But it is something that I cannot think about for too long, because that visual of you fake going to save somebody and not saving them because of the color of their skin and the entire 911 understanding because, oh yeah, you couldn't get Jamal. Oh well, just another one gone. Like that shit. I don't know.
Do you know how evil you have to be able to hear people screaming in pain, screaming for help, screaming for you to come and rescue them, but you choose to not help them? You deliberately, intentionally make the decision to walk away from someone who is screaming from help, from someone who is in pain. You deliberately make the decision, you thought about it, and you're like, nope, I'm going to let this person suffer like this and die, even though I can help. I am not going to help them. Why? Because they're black. Why should I? He even did it to a child, a baby. How do one do that to a child exactly? How do you hear a child crying in pain and not want to rescue them? And then he sees a black man and he thought, well, you know what? I think I should trauma dump this information on this black man. I should make my nightmare his nightmare. I really don't like how he did this to this brother at all, and I don't like it one bit. This is triggering, and information like this coming unexpectedly, because it looks like brother was having a good day, right? There's no way he could have thought that such an information will be coming to him in the next 20 seconds. And then boom, this is what you are hearing as a black man. This comment says, I guess it's safe to say it wasn't a happy birthday for him. You being a perfect stranger and a man of color wishing him well triggered his guilt. This right here is why them folks don't want history to be taught anymore. This is why they are fighting so hard to bury history so that they can hide how evil they actually were and still are, by the way, because look at what they are doing still in present times. They still have sundown towns in 2023. We still find our people unalived dangling from trees. If we want to really go down and talk about all the things that they are still doing to our people in the diaspora and the things that they are doing to our people back home here on the continent, we go there yet. It's a long list of evil that they have been perpetrating. And this is why they don't want history to be taught anymore, because they don't want people to know just how evil that they actually have been. How many of people like this man are actually out there, and how many of them could still possibly be doing things like this in 2023? I won't put it past these people. Nah, I won't. And right now, thinking about it is actually breaking my heart that it is possible that there are black people who have been in situations like this where they needed help from firefighters and they were left there intentionally by these people. We might still have some of them out there in 2023 still doing this. And just thinking about this, I'm shaking at the thought. And then they get shocked that black people don't trust them. They cannot fathom why it is that we don't trust them. This is why when they have committed and literally go unpunished for their crimes, in old days, your call come out, they confess, confession upon confession. How many confessions have I covered on this channel? See, this past, we keep calling the past. It's not really the past like that too, because some of them folks from this so-called past, they are still very much alive. Sometime back, I came by this video on TikTok. I don't think I saved this video, but I'll check. If I did save it, I would make a separate video on this particular story. Basically, this woman was talking about how this dying old patient was sharing how she, in her younger years, caused someone to die. She was jealous that a black girl had this beautiful dress and it was new and she wanted the dress. But because the dress isn't hers and it was a black girl that had it, she was pissed at the fact that this black girl had this beautiful dress and she wanted it. And that resulted in her accusing, making some very wicked statements that got someone hurt. And she has been living in fear. Right now, she's old and gray, and the whole fear has been intensified because she's constantly getting haunted by the ghost of this person. But in this particular incident, this old white lady actually confessed to another white lady, and it was this white lady that shared the story on TikTok. These people would forever not have peace. Them folks who perpetrated this evil, they would forever not have peace. As they said that we can't have peace, they too would not have peace. And not only would they not find peace in this life like they are not finding it right now, they will still not find this peace in the next life. If there is a next life, they not go get peace gone. One way or another, they must pay for their crimes. Since they did not pay in real life, no consequences in real life, Mother Nature would make sure that they pay in death. They are going back to meet her anyways, Abi. 6 feet under. They will go and deal with Mother Nature.